Hello everyone, I am here with your Bible reading. I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm sorry I didn't get a reading up yesterday. Yesterday was a horrible, horrible day. The day before that I was having a lot of trouble with my lungs. Yesterday when I woke up, as soon as I opened my eyes, I had a severe migraine. Oh, I've had severe migraine since I was a kid. Since I was 7, to be exact. I had it all day long. I had 2 migraine shots. I had Tylenol and all that stuff too, ibuprofen. I had a headache, I had a patch on my head. You know, one of those over-the-counter deals. Salon balls. They're not for your head, they're for your back, but I used one. Nothing touched it. It was awful. I had a cold rag. I was throwing up all day. In bed all day. I finally got up at like 7 p.m. Then I went back to bed around 9:30 p.m. because I just couldn't stay up. And my eyes are always very, very sensitive. They're still sensitive today. And my pupils were like going big and small, big and small. You know, yesterday when I got up, the floor was floating and everything because my eyes, they get really bad. That's where I get my migraines at, in my eyes. And then I woke up this morning and I had it really bad in my lungs again. So, yes, I'm not having a very fun few days here. But I didn't want to wait for the Bible reading any longer. I wanted to get it out because we're already a day behind. For some reason, when I had my migraine last night, I had a fever with it. I usually don't. Okay, so I'm going to read them back to back. Kelly, if you're watching, thank you so much for this beautiful scarf throw, or what, shawl that you got me for Christmas. It's so beautiful and it's really coming in handy today because it's keeping me nice and warm. It feels really good. Okay, we're going to start with Matthew chapter 10 and go to, what? Chapter 11, verse 30. Then we're going to read Psalm 13 and Psalm 14. And then we're going to read Proverbs chapter 3, verse 16 through verse 20. Yes. So let me get set up here in place. And in Matthew, it'll be mostly Jesus talking again. Alright, so let's get started with Matthew. Jesus says, "The student is not above the teacher, nor a servant above his master. It is enough for students to be like their teachers, and servants like their masters. If the head of the house has been called Beelzebul, the devil, how much more the members of the household? So do not be afraid of them, for there is nothing concealed that cannot be disclosed, or hidden that will not be made known. What I tell you in the dark, speak in the daylight. What is whispered in your ear, proclaim from the roofs. Do not be afraid of those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather be afraid of the one who can destroy both soul and body in hell. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground outside your Father's care. and even the very hairs on your head are numbered. So don't be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows. Whoever acknowledges me before others, I will also acknowledge before my Father in heaven. But whoever disowns me before others, I will disown before my Father in heaven. Do not suppose that I have come to bring peace to the earth. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to turn a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies will be the members of his own household. Some will believe, some won't believe. Just like in my family. And I'll fight about it. Just like mine. Just like I'm sure in everybody's family, the same way. Anyone who loves their father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. Anyone who loves their son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Whoever does not take up their cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Whoever finds their life will lose it, and whoever loses their life for my sake will find it. Anyone who welcomes you welcomes me, and anyone who welcomes me anyone who welcomes me welcomes the one who sent me, which is God. Whoever welcomes a prophet as a prophet will receive a prophet's reward, and whoever welcomes a righteous person as a righteous person will receive a righteous person's reward. And if anyone gives even a cup of cold water to one of these little ones, he's talking about the little children again, who is my disciple, truly I tell you, that person will certainly not lose their reward. Jesus loved the little children. And he said if anybody was mean to the little children, it would be best that they had a millstone hung around their neck and they'd be thrown into the sea, because it will not be good for them on the day of judgment. Those children are all love and innocence. Okay, now that ends Jesus' words for a minute. After Jesus had finished instructing his 12 disciples, he went on from there to teach and preach in the towns of Galilee. When John, who was in prison, heard about the deeds of the Messiah, he sent his disciples to ask him, "Are you the one who is to come, or should we expect someone else?" Jesus replied, and Jesus speaking again, "Go back and report to John what you hear and see. The blind receive sight, the lame walk, those who have leprosy are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, and the good news is proclaimed to the poor. Blessed is anyone who does not stumble on account of me." Stop Jesus' words for a second. As John's disciples were leaving, Jesus began to speak to the crowd about John. And these are Jesus' words about John. He asked the crowd, "What did you go out into the wilderness to see? A reed swayed by the wind? If not, what did you go out to see? A man dressed in fine clothes? No, those who wear fine clothes are in kings' palaces. Then what did you go out to see? A prophet? Yes, I tell you, and more than a prophet. This is the one about whom it is written, I will send my messenger ahead of you, who will prepare your way before you. Truly I tell you, among those born of women, there has not risen anyone greater than John the Baptist. Yet, whoever is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. From the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven has been subjected to violence, and violent people have been raiding it. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John. And if you are willing to accept it, he is the Elijah who was to come. Whoever has ears, let them hear. To what can I compare this generation? They are like children sitting in the marketplaces and calling out to others. We played the pipe for you, and you did not dance. We sang a dirge, and you did not mourn. For John came neither eating nor drinking, and they say, he has a demon. The Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say, here is a glutton and a drunkard, a friend of tax collectors and sinners. But wisdom is proved right by her deeds. And that is where we're stopping with Matthew today. We're ending Jesus' words there. I think, wait. They're adding one to it today. Yes, they are. All right. Yes, we're going to get a little bit more. Okay, we're stopping Jesus' words for a minute. Then Jesus began to denounce the towns in which most of his miracles had been performed, because they did not repent. And Jesus says, woe to you, Chorazin! Woe to you, Bethsaida! For if the miracles that were performed in you had been performed in Tyre and Sidon, they would have repented long ago in sackcloth and ashes. But I tell you, it will be more bearable for Tyre and Sidon on the day of judgment than for you. And you, Capernaum, you will be lifted to the heavens. No, you will go down to Hades. For if the miracles that were performed in you had been performed in Sodom, it would have remained to this day. But I tell you that it will be more bearable for Sodom on the day of judgment than for you. Can you imagine that? Would not want to be that. In Jesus' words for a second, at that time Jesus said, Jesus' words again, I praise you, Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because you have hidden these things from the wise and learned and revealed them to little children. Yes, Father, for this is what you were pleased to do. All things have been committed to me by my Father. No one knows the Son except the Father, and no one knows the Father except the Son, and those to whom the Son chooses to reveal him. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Amen. Okay, now we're going to get ready for our Psalms. Psalm 13 is short. It's only 6 verses. Let me check something here real quick. They are both Psalms of David. Okay, Psalm 13, for the director of music, a Psalm of David. How long, Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I wrestle with my thoughts, and day after day have sorrow in my heart? How long will my enemy triumph over me? Look on me and answer, Lord my God. Give light to my eyes, or I will sleep in death. And my enemy will say, I have overcome him, and my foes will rejoice when I fall. But I trust in your unfailing love. My heart rejoices in your salvation. I will sing the Lord's praise, for he has been good to me. Amen. I love that song. Psalm 13. Now we're going to go read Psalm 14 for the director of music of David. I love this one too, especially the first line. The fool says in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt, their deeds are vile. There is no one who does good. The Lord looks down from heaven on all mankind to see if there are any who understand, any who seek God. All have turned away, all have become corrupt. There is no one who does good, not even one. Do all these evildoers know nothing? They devour my people as though eating bread. They never call on the Lord, but there they are, overwhelmed with dread. For God is present in the company of the righteous. You evildoers frustrate the plans of the poor, but the Lord is their refuge. Oh, that salvation for Israel would come out of Zion. When the Lord restores his people, let Jacob rejoice and Israel be glad. Amen. David's songs are always beautiful, whether they're short or long. And now we're going to end today's Bible reading with Proverbs chapter 3, verses 16 through 20. Long life is in her right hand. In her left hand are riches and honor. Her ways are pleasant ways, and all her paths are peace. She is a tree of life to those who take hold of her. Those who hold her fast will be blessed. By wisdom the Lord laid the earth's foundations. By understanding he set the heavens in place. By his knowledge the watery depths were divided, and the clouds let drop the dew. Alright guys, that was everything from yesterday and today. I will get out our homework now. Let me get back up here so I can get that set in there. Okay, our homework was our last question. Which son of Isaac sold his birthright for a pot of stew? And the answer you should have came up with was Esau. Esau. And that would have been Jacob's twin brother. Alright. Now your homework question for tonight is, let me mark this so I know which one. Your homework question for tonight is, in what town was Jesus born? In what town was Jesus born? Alright guys. Okay, our prayer requests all remain the same, so I won't go over them again today. We'll save that for tomorrow or the next day, God willing. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Let's bring those souls to Jesus, and God willing, we'll see you guys again tomorrow with another Bible reading. Bye guys. God bless.